First of all, you have to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and I've already done that. And secondly, you have to prepare your pans. Now, I've already done 2 of them to save time, but okay. Now you have to make sure your cake doesn't stick, even though it's a good cake pan. So for this, I'm going to use a little butter. You can use shortening, whatever. You just want to make sure you get every bit all around the sides and everything on the bottom, butter. Now you can spray it if you want. I just prefer to use this method because it just gives it more protection from sticking. After I put my butter, I put just a little bit of flour and kind of shake it around. And then I just take it and shake the flour back and forth. Kind of pat it on the bottom and have it kind of run around the edge. Like so. And then again, just kind of pat it on the bottom to get extra off. And then I just take this over the trash can and throw that away. Okay, now that I've got my pans prepared, we're gonna actually make the cake. And people think this cake is hard, but it's one of the easiest cakes I make because you start out with a cake mix. And it can be any white cake mix. Actually, one time I got a cake mix from Aldi, and it was one of the most moist cakes I made. But that's not close to where we live now, so this one actually came from Kroger. So then, a small box of the strawberry Jell-O, and this is the one that's, you do need frozen strawberries that are sweetened. I like to get the kind that are in a tub because when they thaw, you'll need to thaw them out. They create like a syrup, and that's what you want. You don't want the ones that are dried individually. You want the ones that are, it says in sugar, and it'll make a syrup when it unthaws, and you'll see this is what it looks like. So this is a cup, and you don't want to drain it. You just pour it into your measuring cup. And the thing that people like about this cake is that it actually has strawberries inside the cake batter, which if you buy it out at a strawberry cake at a bakery, it most of the time does not. Okay, and then this is a cup of vegetable oil. Again, that helps it to be moist. And then just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I just put a little bit in my hand. I don't even measure it. What that does is salt increases the sweetness of the strawberries. So now all you do is you're going to mix this for about 2 minutes. So we'll come up. I start out on low just to get my ingredients mixed. You can see you want to try to get off most of the white of the cake mix beat up. I'm going to move up to medium. To our pans. All right, now we're going to just divide our batter into our 3 pans, and it really looks like there's not enough, but I just try to even it out. And another thing I do is I get a few inches off the cabinet and I drop it. And you can see some bubbles pop out. And that also helps level your cakes. So now I'm going to put this in a 350 degree oven, and it bakes approximately 30 minutes. I usually check mine at 25 and just use a toothpick to see if it's done. If it comes out clean, it's done. Okay, I just took these out of the oven about 5 to 10 minutes ago and set them down, and then I'm going to run a knife around the edge of them just to kind of loosen them a little bit. And then I'm going to flip them out on a cake rack if I have it. And if you don't, I've laid just a plain kitchen towel down, and you can just put them on the kitchen towel if you don't have a rack. Doesn't really matter. Now it's time to make the frosting, and we start out with a stick of butter that's been sitting out at room temperature, and also an 8-ounce block of cream cheese that's been sitting out at room temperature. And we're going to cream those together, cream cheese in it. And so we really like the cream cheese, but if you don't like cream cheese, you can leave it out. Just remember that you'll probably have to add a little bit more powdered sugar, because it'll be more, the icing will be runny. So I'm just creaming this together. And you see they're taking a second. Before I do that, I'm going to add my strawberries. Now, this is a hint for the strawberries. I need 2/3 a cup. What I try to do is I'll take a spoon and get mainly the strawberries first, so I have very little of the juice. Because the more juice I have, the more powdered sugar I'm going to need, because the icing will be too runny. So I'll try to get mostly strawberries, but of course when you get to the bottom you got to get the juice too. And just remember, this juice is just where the sugar on the strawberries have formed a simple syrup. So, and I'm going to blend that, or mix it. And now I'm going to get a spatula and scrape that down. It's so hard when you're not in your own kitchen to do things that you're used to doing, because you don't have your equipment and you don't know where everything is as well. Okay, now I've got a 2-pound bag of powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar. And it could take up to this whole bag, but I'll start out with about half of it. And basically you're just blending it to the consistency so that you can spread it on your cake. You want to start out slow with this, or you'll have powdered sugar all over your kitchen. And I'm pushing down the sides to get the powdered sugar off the sides. Stop, and I'm going to scrape down everything. Again, push it down. When it gets pretty thick to blend, you'll know it's thick enough to spread. This is the right consistency. You can kind of see how thick it is. Okay, now we're ready to spread it on our cake. It's quite sweet enough, so I added about 2 more cups of sugar. And you can just do that based on taste and thickness. I always put some icing on the bottom of my plate. It helps your cake stick. And as you can see, I've got tons of icing here, so I've got plenty of icing to ice my cake. Now, if you don't want to have extra icing left, you could just do 6 ounces of the cream cheese and 6 ounces of the butter. I just figured I'd use it all. Put a nice thick layer down so your bottom will have. And I just take my cake, and this is not my plate, it's where we're staying, so I don't have my pretty cake plates, but it doesn't matter. The taste of the cake will shine through. Okay. And then basically that's it. Now you see I've got probably a half a cup of icing left. You can freeze that. I do that all the time. And then if you just make cupcakes one day, that's a perfect icing to put on your cupcakes. Just take it out and let it thaw. Wonderful icing. Thanks for watching. We're here to help you solve life's little problems, and please try this cake. It'll be the best one you've ever eaten.